Hello everyone, Jeff here with you for episode number 32 of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. This is a GMTE Express add-on exclusive as AEW and NXT are going head-to-head once again this week. We'll begin it with NXT. It took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. This was taped earlier in the day on Wednesday. Marvin Alla, Beth Phoenix, Byron Saxton were on the call. They opened their show with the Interim Cruiserweight Championship Tournament match. It was a triple threat with Drake Maverick, Kushida, and Jake Atlas. I thought this was actually a pretty good match, very good matches. I knew it would be because we had three good workers here, and I thought each of them looked pretty good here. Really good storytelling you hear from these guys. We just get towards the end of the match here. Kushida has Atlas locked in his armbar submission, and then it seemed like Maverick was out of the picture, but all of a sudden he just started to crawl over, and then he put his arm on Atlas's chest, and the referee counted the pin here. So Drake Maverick actually gets the win here. I think a bit of a surprise here if you think about it. It was also noted that Kushida's legs were also covering Atlas, but that was not mentioned as well. So then after the match, Maverick shook hands with his finals opponent, Elahino del Fantasma, the former King Corona who had come out here, and so they're going to be in the finals. But we did go backstage, and then we did see footage that showed that Maverick's pin on Atlas should not have counted because Atlas was tapping out to Kushida. The referee could not see it, and he was tapping out before the 3 count. But the referee's decision stand. Maverick went on to say backstage in the interview that he wanted to win fair. Kushida did approach him backstage during this interview and told him to get the win here and keep the job. So no heat between the guys here. They did shake hands, and then Maverick promised Kushida the first title shot should he win the championship, which I think we all can say is probably not going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Maybe he signed a new contract. We don't know it yet, but I don't think he's winning it. It was made official that Charlotte Flair will be defending the NXT Women's Championship in a triple threat match with Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley at NXT TakeOver in Your House. Not a big surprise. That had been rumored, and that was confirmed here on the show. Next match on the card here, we had Johnny Gargano taking on Adrian Alanis, I think is what it is. This is the first match in the Johnny Gargano Invitational, as they're putting it here. Very short match here. Gargano won with the Gargano escape here. Pretty quick stuff here. After the match, Gargano and Candice LeRae were interrupted by a video package of Keith Lee and Mia Yim mocking them over the dinner. So, we saw that. So they did this for a while. I think they tried to go for some comedy here with these two. I didn't think it worked all that well. We also saw Tegan Knox here. She was in this video bringing Keith Lee and Mia Yim a pizza, and then it was later found out and determined that Candice LeRae will face Mia Yim on next week's program. So, we'll see where that goes. Good stuff there, I think, coming up. Next match on the card here, we have Raquel Gonzalez taking on Schatzi Blackheart here in women's competition. Of course, Dakota Kai was out there. As the match went on, Tegan Knox did come out in the match to be in Schatzi Blackheart's corner. Just some interference late in the match here. Dakota Kai has the referee distracted, or something happens. I think it was Tegan Knox, or someone had the referee distracted on the outside. Dakota Kai helped Gonzalez, and then Gonzalez hit her one-arm power bomb, and pinned Schatzi Blackheart to win the match. I thought the match was okay. It was a little chaotic there, maybe a little, overbooked at the end there, but Raquel Gonzalez winning was the right call here, obviously. And I will once again contest and say that Dakota Kai does not need to muscle on Raquel Gonzalez. I think Dakota Kai is fine on her own, and I do eventually think they're going to split. It's just a matter of when, not if. So we had that. We had Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green. This was the next match here. Charlotte Flair in the mystery partner, which turned out to be Chelsea Green of the Robert Stone, a.k.a. Robbie E. brand. They teamed up to take on Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley here in tag team competition. The match, it's good. I think it's decent. It's a good match, not terrible. Obviously, Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley have this thing going. They're the reluctant partners here because they had some heat recently on television. So it's a decent match. Chelsea Green gets the big rub here by working with Charlotte Flair. We just get to the end of it. We see Charlotte Flair actually win here because, of course, she does. She's the NXT Women's Champion. She wins for her team after she pinned Io Shirai with her feet on the ropes for leverage. She's a heel. That's what heels do. It was fine. I didn't have a problem with this. And later on backstage in an exclusive after NXT went off the air, Chelsea Green wound up firing Robert Stone, so that leaves Robert Stone without anyone in his brand. So we'll see if he can recruit someone going forward. We had Imperium cut a promo backstage talking about being the dominant NXT Tag Team Champions, and then later on we saw Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan meet up for a drink, and then they decided they're going to go after the champions. So that looks like we have our next program here for the NXT Tag Team Champions and Imperium. Next match on the card had Tommaso Ciampa taking on Leon Ruff here. Not a whole lot to this here. Tommaso Ciampa won pretty quick with the fairy tale ending. Not a whole lot here. Scarlett Bordeaux was out at ringside during the match and stared at Ciampa as it was going on. She didn't do anything. After the match, Karrion Kross showed up on the screen in a pre-recorded with some pre-recorded comments, I should say, and then promised that a takeover in your house will make Ciampa feel something he's never felt in his life. So. There was no sneak attack here from Kross. He did not come up from behind. Scarlett Bordeaux, rather, didn't get into the ring, didn't do anything. That was just kind of it, so we had that. Your main event for the night here was a fight pit match, aka a Lion's Den match, with Timothy Thatcher and Matt Riddle. This was a great match. Kurt Angle was the special guest referee. He was here for this. Very good match from these guys. These two work very well together here. Good chemistry. I thought this was a great match. This was easily, I thought, the best thing on the entire show, and it was in the main event here. At one point, we see Timothy Thatcher lose teeth during the match. I don't know if they were gimmick teeth, fake teeth, or if they were legitimate teeth. He was bleeding from the mouth, so it's possible. But anyways, they just go back and forth a while. They utilize the cage to their advantage here. And ultimately, in the end, Timothy Thatcher was able to make Matt Riddle pass out in the choke to win the match. Not a surprise here if you know what's going on. Because of a lot of talk, and it looks like it's going to be official. Matt Riddle is on his way to the main roster. He's going to be appearing on SmackDown. It looks like there'll be a vignette that could air on SmackDown this week, perhaps. So he did the honors on the way out here, so not a big surprise. So this was basically his swan song from NXT for now. So he did the honors, and Timothy Thatcher won what I thought was a very good match. Easily the best thing on the entire show. So that's it. That was NXT. That took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Let's get on to AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It took place live from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur were on the call here. The show opened up with the Inner Circle because this was the first show after Double or Nothing. They were surrounded by boxes of the Inner Circle Stadium Stampede Champions. Of course, they lost that match, as a lot of us figured they would. They had all these t-shirts that they had printed before the match, and then Santana revealed that they have a whole truck full of them. So it could be a good collector's item, as a matter of fact. I wonder if they might try to sell those at some point. We then see also backstage before the action gets underway here, we see Broken Matt Hardy. He's back there with the Young Bucks. He's excited to be teaming with them for 6-man tag team action. That's going to be coming up here in the opening match. But they requested that he reverts to an earlier persona, which he winds up doing. It's kind of an early version of Matt Hardy here. Kind of like the pre-Hardy Boys stuff that we saw over in the other Fed. So we had that. So we get that 6-man tag team action to open up the action here with the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy teaming up to take on Private Party and Joey Janela here. So it's basically all baby faces here in this opening contest. The match is good. It's fine for what it was. I thought pretty entertaining stuff here. Ultimately, in the end, Isaiah Cassidy wound up taking the fall here. The Young Bucks and Matt Hardy win here. Cassidy took a super kick and more bang for your buck, and he got pinned. After the match, Matt Hardy helped an injured Marquee Queen to the back. So basically, it's all baby faces here. There was no shenanigans, no nothing there. So they're all gone, and we see the Butcher and the Blade. They're out to attack the Young Bucks in the ring, and then sure enough, we see FTR, the guys formerly known as the Revival in WWE. They make their official appearance here. A long time rumored that they were going to be showing up, and they do show up here. They drive up in an old-fashioned Chevy truck to the arena. They did run into the ring. They did have a brief stare down with the Young Bucks, but they did not attack them. They wound up attacking the Butcher and the Blade. So at least for the time being, FTR, which stands for F the Rest, is what the initials are here. They didn't come in initially as heels, though it's obvious we are going to get FTR and the Young Bucks in a program here. It's going to be good stuff, I think, coming up. But they didn't do it just yet because I think that would have been a little too predictable. So the next match we had Brian Cage here. This was his first action here on Dynamite. Of course, he made his appearance at Double or Nothing. Of course, Taz is out there with him. He took on Lee Johnson. Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion, joined commentary for the match here and to see what Brian Cage was up to. This was very short and to the point. Essentially a squash here, showcase for Cage. He won with the drill claw here and in just very quick fashion here. Afterwards, Taz cut a promo on Moxley talking about how Cage will tear Mox's heart out at Fyter Fest, so hyping up that big match for Fyter Fest. That should be a pretty good match when we get to Fyter Fest, so we had that. So then we see Britt Baker here. It was advertised that she was going to be on the program and talk about her injury. She does come out here. She's out here with the help of photos. There's a corkboard as well. We see some red string on the corkboard. She goes on to claim that her injury wasn't an accident but a conspiracy. So that's how they're playing it up here. Clearly it was an accident if we all know what's going on here. But anyways, she points out that Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and Nyla Rose are all conspirators. And then she points out that Aubrey Edwards as the ringleader. That made me laugh when I saw this. I think they were trying to go for some comedy. I thought it was actually pretty clever here. So that's what we had. Tony Schiavone was out there with her as well, doing while this was all going on. And then Britt Baker herself said that she'll be back for All Out, which is on September 5th, which to me is very optimistic, considering it's only about 3 months away, and considering the serious injury that she suffered. I think that's very optimistic, but she says she'll be back. Let's see what happens. But that 3 months, I think that's pretty quick. We were backstage. We see Chris Jericho yelling at Alex Marvez about how great their pep rally is going to be later on in the program. And then we see Orange Cassidy just kind of wandering and walking through here, the frame behind them, angering Jericho. They didn't attack Cassidy. Nothing happened there. And that was pretty much the end of that segment. So obviously they're giving Cassidy some more screen times because people seem to like this guy. So we had that. We had Akira Shida, of course, your new AEW Women's Champion, taking on Chrissy James here in non-title action. This was actually a pretty competitive match. Chrissy James got quite a bit of offense in on Shida. Looked pretty good at times, but ultimately in the end, after a good while here of back and forth, Shida wound up winning in the end with the Falcon Arrow. But James, I thought, looked pretty good in defeat. This was just her second match on AEW, so she got quite a bit of offense. Not a big surprise here. Nyla Rose did not come out. There was no interference. Nobody came out. So they had the match. Good match. So they did the picture-in-picture during the break here. And we see Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega watching the show from a sofa backstage. And then Hangman Page noticed that they were on TV. And then they started to stare into the camera with this weird look. So I guess going for some comedy there. The new AEW TNT champion, Cody Rhodes, he was out here for a promo here. Tony Schiavone was in the ring here. Basically, what Cody talks about in this promo is that he ultimately reveals how he plans to do a weekly open challenge for this TNT championship here. There was nothing from Lance Archer here. He did not come out. He did not cut a promo on the screen. No nothing here, so it just appears that they're moving on from this, but I think there's more to that. I think they could have definitely another match or two. So, because even though I thought their match at Double or Nothing was okay, clearly this can't be a one and done. I have to think he's going to get another shot at it. So, we'll see how this open challenge goes. But it's obviously a concept we've seen before, so we'll see where it goes. Next match on the card had Kip Sabian, of course, Penelope Ford is out with him. He is taking on along with Jimmy Havoc. It's a tag team match, and they're taking on SCU here. The match it's fine for what it was. We just get towards the end of the match. SCU looks like they're trying to go for the SCU later. At the end here, Penelope Ford helped stop that action by grabbing Frankie Kazarian's leg, and then ultimately the heels were able to win here. Jimmy Havoc wound up winning for the team here. He pinned Scorpio Sky, and the heels get the win here. I thought was fine. So we had that. We are backstage again. MJF says that he is undefeated, which is true, and he shouldn't have to win a battle royal to get a title shot, which I agree with, by the way. But with Wardlow's help, he goes on to say he'll do it anyways, and then it just seemed like Wardlow seemed a bit, I don't know, reprehensive, I guess would be the word, I guess I would say. to let MJF win if it came down to those two at the end, but then he eventually backs down. So they maybe kind of planted some early seeds that maybe there could be some dissension there. I do eventually think Warlord and MJF are going to split, and Warlord's going to become a big baby face. But we'll see where that comes. That's still probably a while to go. So we have this Battle Royal here. And the genesis of the Battle Royal here was to determine who would get the first shot at Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. So, and here's the thing I'm trying to figure out, and I hope somebody can help me out with a reason or an answer for this. How come they're able to do a Battle Royal here on Dynamite, but yet they couldn't have the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing? I would love for someone to explain that to me. So we just get down to it here. Of course, in the end, we get down to Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, MJF, and Warlord. Ultimately, Jungle Boy was ultimately able to eliminate MJF and Warlord, and then it was down to Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy. You knew who was winning this match. It wasn't going to be Orange Cassidy. Jungle Boy ultimately eliminates Orange Cassidy in the end, and he does become the #1 contender for the TNT Championship. I thought the Battle Royal was okay. I don't know. It just seemed like something was missing. But Jungle Boy winning is fine. I have no issue with that. So he'll get the first crack at Cody Rhodes for that TNT Championship, which is supposed to be happening on next week's program. The final segment of the night here was the Inner Circle pep rally here, even though they weren't in a good mood because they had lost the Stadium Stampede match to the Elite. We see a bunch of the Jacksonville Jaguar cheerleaders here, and Vicky Guerrero actually makes an appearance once again here. Always good to see Vicky Guerrero on camera. So they're doing their best to try to get everyone fired up here. We do see everyone from the Inner Circle make their way to the ring. They're not in a good mood, but they wind up giving each other presents here to try to cheer themselves up. Hager reads this poem here, which was kind of an interesting poem to say the very least. Jericho did go on to say that the gift that he really wants most is Mike Tyson's head on a platter. He brings up about what happened 10 years ago on Monday Night Raw when Mike Tyson was a guest host on an episode of Raw, and he wound up knocking out Chris Jericho. So he kept mentioning that without specifically naming the show that it happened on, but everyone figured it out. Sammy Guevara Jr. did reveal that he had the cheese platter and bubbly ready to go, but it had already been consumed by we don't know who. And then sure enough, because they had been advertising that Mike Tyson was going to make an appearance here in Dynamite, he does come out here with his entourage. And right away, I knew exactly where they were going to go with this. I think we all kind of figured it out because it was pretty obvious. Jericho wants an apology from being knocked out by Mike Tyson 10 years ago on Monday Night Raw, even though, again, they don't mention Monday Night Raw, but we all know that's what it was. And then sure enough, push and shove, and then sure enough, we get a brawl. Everything breaks down here. The locker room empties out, and Jericho and Tyson were separated by all the talents. It was also announced that Jericho and Colt Cabana will have a match next week because they were kind of having a little bit of friction if you were watching closely, so they made that match official for next week. So basically, they tried to replicate what they did with Tyson in 1998 on that episode of Monday Night Raw with Tyson and Austin here. So that's what they were going for here. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. They tried to replicate that, so a little bit of attitude error action here. It was okay. I mean, I knew it was coming. I think we all figured it was coming. So they had this brawl, and that's how they went off the air. So that was it. That was AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite that took place from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Before we go over the ratings for that, we do have the ratings in from the Memorial Day edition of Monday Night Raw. It drew an average of 1.735 million viewers according to ShowBuzz Daily. That is slightly down about 1.2% from last week's 1.757 million viewers. It is the second lowest viewership in history, going back to the show on May 4th a few weeks ago, which did 1.686 million viewers. The 2019 Memorial Day Raw did 2.190 million. The 2018 did 2.494. The 2017 did a 2.613. And the 2016 show did 3.229 million viewers. So they have nearly lost half their viewers since 2016. That's kind of interesting. So in all 3 hours, they were down. Actually, they were down except for the third hour here. Hour 1 did 1.806 million viewers. Second hour did 1.726 million. And the third hour did 1.673, which was actually the only hour that was up from the previous week. They did hold their viewership overall. It was just a 7.4% drop from hour 1 to 3, which is the third smallest so far this year. Raw was 14th for the night in viewership on cable, behind a mix of news programs and other showed some interest here. They were number one for the night in the Cable 115 18-49 demo with a 0.51 rating, which is right where they were at last week. They tied with 90 Day Fiancé What Now, and we found out that Grant on the History Channel, because this was Memorial Day, topped the night in viewership with 2.967 million viewers, and that show came in 8th in the Cable 150 18-49 demo with a 0.34 rating. So that was Monday Night Raw. Now, as far as this week's AEW and NXT action here, AEW once again won in the viewership and in the ratings. Both shows were up significantly from last week. Dynamite did 827,000 viewers, while NXT did 731,000 viewers. It was the 11th best AEW viewership of 2020, and this was the 5th best NXT viewership of the year. AEW came in 4th in the Cable 150 and the demo, while NXT came in 24th, both up significantly. AEW tied for 62nd viewership, and NXT came in 66th. Last week, Dynamite came in with 701,000 viewers and did 7th in the Cable 150 in the demo and 65th in viewership. NXT last week did 592,000 viewers, came in 53rd in the demo and 1849 and 70th in viewership. AEW did a 0.32 rating in 18-49 demo, while NXT did a 0.19. Both shows were up 0.06 of a point from last week's 0.26 and 0.13 respectively. So both shows were up significantly. The Challenge on MTV topped the night in the demo with a 0.56 rating, and they did 934,000 viewers. Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News Channel topped the night in viewership with 3.876 million viewers, ranking 7th in the Cable 150 and 18-49 demo with a 0.28 rating. AEW won all the demos for the night except for 50 plus, which NXT won. AEW's high for the night was 0.40 in the males 18-49, and their low was a 0.11 in the females 12-34 demo. NXT's high was a 0.36 in the 50 plus, and their low was a 0.04 in the females 12-34. So with AEW once again winning this week in the viewership, they now have 28 wins. NXT has 5, and we have the 1 tie. My pick of the week this week, it was close, but I'm going to go with AEW. I thought their follow-up to Double or Nothing here was good enough, and I thought NXT it wasn't terrible, but I don't know, it just felt a little flat this week, so I give AEW the win. So through 32 picks, I have NXT with 18 and AEW with 14. Let me know down in the comment section below what your favorite moment from Wednesday's wrestling action is, and we'll see you the next time with the next Wednesday Night Wrestling Blitz here on YouTube. Bye for now, everyone.